Greetings historians, welcome to Lore of the Dragon. Today's video is going to be based off of a tweet I made a couple weeks back about something I noticed in Spyro 2, specifically in the opening cutscene. Now, behind Ripto in this cutscene, there's a structure that you can see, one that you actually encounter in Glimmer, the first world you go to in Spyro 2. Now, for the most part, this can kind of be seen as a very different and very distinct design, or at least a certain type of architecture. Now, whether or not this plays into what I'm going to be talking about today, I'm not quite sure. But, from what I can see, if you look up to the top, around the area where the dome starts of this building, you can see symbols engraved in a ring of gold. And these symbols are very reminiscent of something called the Aether Crest, something that can actually be seen in the Dragon Realms and its place of origin, the Legend of Spyro. Now, this symbol in the Legend of Spyro is something that's primarily associated with dragons and the primary element of the purple dragon of legend, Aether. Now, I have a video covering Aether already, and I'll be leaving that down in the description below for anyone who actually wants to see that. But, to keep it brief, this symbol seems to have some sort of importance in dragon society, and as was mentioned earlier, represents what we know as Aether. Now, moving back to Reignited, this symbol can be seen somewhat around the Dragon Realms, at least in various forms, especially in the realms that are more based off of magic. Now, what the symbol means in Reignited, I'm going to be saving that for another time. But for this video, it looks like the symbol still has significance within dragon culture, which is kind of strange why it would be in Avalar, seemingly far from the lands where dragons reside. Now, the only connection we have to the dragons and Glimmer is through what the professor says in Spyro 2, where in a desperate attempt to stop a warlock named Ripto from taking over Avalar, they went to go find a dragon, and the only place that they could get a dragon in Avalar was Glimmer. Now, whether or not this has any importance to what exactly I'm talking about can be left to interpretation, but it still doesn't explain why these symbols appear in Glimmer specifically. And another quick mention, I actually played through Spyro 2 to try to find these symbols, and for the most part, this specific symbol could not be found anywhere else but Glimmer. However, there are symbols that were pointed out to me that are rather reminiscent of this Aether Crest, so it's more open to what you think and how you interpret the symbol. But for the purpose of this talk, I'm going to more be assuming that the Aether Crest is something that is being represented here in Glimmer. So what exactly could this imply? Well, to me, this might indicate that the dragons at one point could have visited Glimmer, or at least they could have inspired the gem cutters, those who actually reside in Glimmer. It would be because of this inspiration, or even knowledge of their existence, that the gem cutters took after the dragons somewhat. Maybe this even could have been the reason why they were fascinated with gems in the first place. Or maybe their occupation made them want to take after the dragons in more ways than just cutting up gems and possibly using them for currency. Now, part of this might also play into a theory I had earlier in another video, which was mainly talking about how the dragons could have been in Avalar before Spyro was even born. However, this would have been a very long time ago. So long that those in Avalar pretty much forgot about the dragons outside of a couple books. And now going back to the gem cutters, maybe at some point the dragons were in Avalar and worked closely with the gem cutters, possibly to get the gems and bring them back to the Dragon Realms, or even, if it was that long ago, to the Forgotten Realms. Either way, most of this is speculation and is open to interpretation. So you can leave whatever your interpretation or theories are in the comment section below. Other than that, that's really going to be it for this video. Now, if you enjoyed this kind of video, you might enjoy actually following me over on Twitter. There's no pressure to go ahead and follow me, that's entirely your choice. But if and when I find something in a Spyro game that might go ahead and be of some interest to me, I'll try to go ahead and post about it, and try to formulate a theory that might not be so much fit for a video. Though even given the size of this one, quite honestly, any theory that I come up with on Twitter might just make it into a video. I might even make a compilation of theories if I really want to. Other than that, on Twitter, I'll be trying to post updates to videos and certain things like the Reignited Legend, or what my next lore video will be. But again, following me over on Twitter is entirely optional. Now real quickly before I end the video, I'm actually going to bring some announcements over on Twitter so that people on YouTube actually know. So, if you remember, the Reignited Legend, which has the premiere being about a month old now, is approaching about 5,000 words. And from what I can tell, is probably going to be somewhere within the hour range. So for those who have been wondering where the Reignited Legend has been, that's generally where it is. This thing is extremely large, extremely complex with all the actual comments I got, so it's a bit of a tedious task to get all together. Now, for the next couple weeks, I'm going to be focusing more on speculatory videos, as I'm making way for my next lore video, which is of course also going to be extremely large, probably also within the hour range. And I know that a particular person in my comment section has been asking for this character to have a video for a while now. So, give it a couple weeks, and that wish will be granted. And we'll be starting a 4-part series on the character of Spyro the Dragon. But anyhow, that's going to be it for me. I hope to see you all in the next lore video. Stay safe, historians.